think we all dreamt about going to space when we were kids. But when the space shuttle program ended in 2011, I discovered a void in my life. That emptiness led to a newfound obsession with space. A few years later, I wound up bidding on a Russian spacesuit as a joke. When the box arrived at my doorstep, my friends asked, "What are you gonna do with a spacesuit?" The answer? What can't I do with a spacesuit? That's how Everyday Astronaut was born. Since then, the suit hasn't left my side. It's even gone around the world with me. From remote villages in Myanmar, rockets, and spaceships. To beautiful fields in Norway. I'm fighting a cow to get a picture right now.
Here I am on vacation in the beautiful Norway with my beautiful boyfriend.
I even proposed to my wife in the suit at Machu Picchu in Peru. These days I work with leaders in the space industry to create fun and inspirational content. I've even been invited to different NASA facilities across the country, all for the sake of sharing my excitement with the world.
Hey there, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but NASA is doing some incredible things. This is church for us space nerds.
This is where Gene Kranz was sitting when people first got on.
This is with permission. I still don't know how.
I love that I'm standing on something that says urine bags.
This thing's gonna fly like a cat in heat. Whatever that means. That dog's gonna have a sore throat by the end of the day, I'll tell you that. Especially once he tries to explain to his friends that he just saw an astronaut flying majestically through the sky for an hour.
This thing has officially become the bane of my existence.
Everyday Astronaut's mission is to bring space down to Earth for everyday people, to communicate science through humor and imagination, but most importantly, to spark your curiosity, to want to find your place in the cosmos. Join my adventures as I seek to find out why exploring space is important, inspiring, and quite frankly, really, really neat. Show your support by visiting patreon.com/everydayastronaut. Hi everybody, how's it going? It's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, and it's Saturday! And you know what that means? It's time to play some Kerbal. I actually have a free day, which is very unusual. Next week I'll be heading down to Falcon Heavy, so literally 1 week from today I'll probably either be in the car or already be in Florida, getting ready to live stream for you guys, literally right there in front of the countdown clock, like right there at the press event, 3 miles away from Falcon Heavy. So get ready for that. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not, because obviously we're very excited. We just saw a confirmation tweet from Elon that February 6th is the date. Woo, yeah! So that being said, it's a great day to play some Kerbal Space Program. I'm going to show you guys what we got here. So let me go ahead and we're going to start the show here, and we're going to start it, hopefully this time, with an actual intro. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, hi, bye.
3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff of one small step for man.
It actually worked. I don't know if anyone was watching the live stream of what we did last week, but none of my hotkeys were working. La 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 la! I've been kind of dinking around lately, and here's what we came up with. So, here's the deal. We're going to try and get 2 even back in one launch, get 2 Kerbals onto the surface of Eve, get them back off the surface of Eve, rendezvous back with our spacecraft, which is a nuclear tug that it's reusable, so the nuclear tug portion will stay up and hopefully be able to do this trip over and over and over again. That's the idea. But it's all launching at once. So this is extremely interesting. So yeah, but in theory, in theory, it can do it all in one launch. Now, I haven't tried this yet. I have not tried this from start to finish. I've tried portions of it. I've had issues. And you guys are now ready to, you know, be part of the action. So, yeah. if I could own any spacesuit that has been used in space, so we're talking about used in space, I think I love the Gemini suits. I think those are my favorite. And some of the, I like them pre-Apollo era, personally. I mean, I still love the Soyuz suits. The Soyuz, what they actually launch in, the flight suits, awesome. So let's make sure we've got people in this thing, because this thing actually holds enough for that many people, but we're gonna make it roomy, because they're gonna be going to Eve for years. So we want to make sure they have some creature comforts. They're all going to launch only in these, which have escape towers. I want this thing to be safe. I'm not killing any Kerbals today, people. That is not a guarantee, but that is a hope. Yeah, so they're all going to be just in these 2 command pods here. I think we got everything. I haven't double checked everything, but what's the point of double checking stuff when you can just launch? Actually, here's what we're going to do before we launch. I'm getting smart now. We are going to line up Kerbal with Eve where it needs to be before we launch, so that if we make any changes, it's already good to go. Somebody asked when Uncle Dad is returning. Uncle Dad will be. Wait, do you guys hear it? You guys hear an echo, huh? Well, let me try this. See if this helps. All right, is anyone else hearing an echo? Sorry, I have not. Just to tell you too, Eve is considered probably one of the most difficult planets to get on and off of. It has a little bit more gravity, almost double the gravity of Kerbal, which is kind of like Earth. Eve is sort of like Venus. And not only does it have about double gravity, it has double the thick atmosphere. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, okay, good. I'm glad there's no echo. All right, I'm going to, real quick, I forgot Kerbal calculator. I have to remember where we need to put, I think it's about 45 degrees behind us is where we need to put Eve. So let me double check this here real quick. We're going to Eve, do the maths. 55 degrees behind us. So Eve needs to be, oh good, we're at least close. Because the other night when we were playing, I had to like do crazy amounts of lineups. This is not nearly as bad. I can handle this weight. So can you guys. You don't have a choice. Alright, so here we go, about 55, that's probably good enough. And Eve has a huge gravity well, so it's super easy. Alright, so yeah, so Eve is kind of like Venus. And it's very, very, very difficult to get off. If somebody asked me when Uncle Dad's coming back, Uncle Dad is only a guest on This Week in Spaceflight History, which we will be doing Wednesday nights / Thursday morning if you're UTC. It's like unfortunately, this is, and trust me, I would love to do like This Week in Spaceflight History now, because now's a good time to stream. But unfortunately, if we want to include Uncle Dad, it has to be Wednesday nights. That's his only time available that he has the option of streaming with us. So if you enjoyed Uncle Dad, and I hope you guys do, because personally, I think he adds a really fun addition to what I'm doing, because he asks really funny questions. He can be entertaining and kind of entertain you guys with some music. So yes, absolutely Falcon Heavy on the 6th of February. We've already even mentioned it. Ian, we have been debating that. I'm trying to save up for a new computer, Ian. And someday we'll get a better streaming computer / the only problem, here's the problem, ready? I know everyone's gonna crap their pants because every time I talk about Mac, everyone goes, "Oh, Mac!" Guys, it's just hardware. They use the same processors. Yes, software is a little different, but here's the deal. I use Logic. I love Logic for all the music you're listening to right now. Logic Pro. I live on Logic. I have to use Logic once a week. I also am getting into Final Cut, which is only for Apple. And unfortunately, for me, that means I'm going to be sticking around. And it doesn't make sense for me to have a separate streaming computer that needs all the massive brain power to be able to play Kerbal Space Program and stream, when I also need that brain power to be able to edit 4K video and stuff too. So unfortunately, for the foreseeable future, it will probably continue to be Mac. I know. Stop puking, everyone. Oh, no. Guys, Macs don't suck. PCs don't suck. Get out of that dogma of one's better than the other. Yes, you can certainly make something cheaper with a Mac, or with a home-built PC. And I used to build PCs, but you got to get over that. It's a maturity thing, guys. It's not this or that. It's not Chevy or Ford. It's who cares? It's a computer. Thank you, Cammy. I will take that $2 and put it right towards that new PC. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Are you guys ready? We're gonna go ahead and get this baby launching, because this is gonna be a long mission. So I want to try to do this fairly efficiently. So ready? 3, check my stage. I've had to check my stage one more time. Whatever. Oh, do we have all the 6 people? We only have 2 people on there. Look at that. See, this is why I didn't just launch. We only had 2 people. You can't stand Kerbal Space programs that don't look like actual rockets. Then I'm sorry, I am not your Kerbal Space program. I agree with you. I love doing Kerbal rockets that are realistic. But in order to get to and from Eve, you can't use a traditional... I have actually done a traditional Eve rocket at one point. But I think this is fun. Ugh, get in there. Get it in my belly. So we're going to put an engineer, a pilot, and a scientist in both of the command modules. And again, this is so they have an abort system. This is so they can safely land. This is the only part that's going to be landing back on Kerbal. This part right here, this main center fuselage, this is the only thing that actually touches down on Kerbal. Everything else either stays in space or gets discarded. What exact Mac? So I currently have a Mac Pro. Who cares? Just do some science. Yeah, so currently I have a Mac Pro, the old trash can, a 6-core, and I can't believe I'm actually considering it. And it's not, trust me, I'm literally having spreadsheets up with performance numbers, with Premiere render times, with Final Cut render times, with 4K raw editing times, with all this stuff, all factoring in, including, you know, what happens when you have a warranty and issues like that, what happens when I can sell one of my 5K monitors. I'm actually considering an iMac Pro, and trust me, that's not, I crapped my pants when I saw that the iMac Pro, that's what I mean, iMac Pro, when that was an option, I was like, this is stupid, but now I'm actually crunching the numbers and running it, and it actually kind of makes sense. So, alright, you guys ready? Here we go. Final Cut does render way faster, that's why I'm doing that. Here we go, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, hip hip, let's go! Let's go to Eve! Let's get there safely! And back! Even. Is Falcon Heavy launch date of February 6th? If you believe in Mr. Elon Musk, who just tweeted not only just a few minutes ago, then yes, that's as accurate as it gets. Acura. What did I just turn on and off? That engine. Okay, I forgot all my action groups already, so this is going to be very interesting. So, LTT had issues with their iMac Pro recently. Who's LTT? And one of the things you guys have to remember too, I know a lot of you probably are out there are gamers or consumers. As a professional photographer / videographer, this is my job. It's my job to produce content quickly and to get it out the door ASAP. So all that being said, when you're talking about the difference between a $5,000 home-built PC, $5,000 home-built PC that you know, is hacked together with 80 different parts, and when if say your graphics card goes bad, you have to reach out to the graphics card manufacturer. If if your cooling fan breaks, you have to reach out to the cooling fan. If your motherboard breaks, you have to reach out to the motherboard manufacturer. Well, guess what? When I'm trying to crank out a video to get you guys your Falcon Heavy news as soon as possible, or if I'm in the middle of a live stream and I need to be up and running that next day, I can go down the street, say it's broken, hand me a new one, boom, up and running right away. That's huge. To me, I would pay triple for that. And that's just not an option with a home-built PC. So I know I could probably find like a Dell or something that would be able to have that kind of support, but that is huge in the professional industry. So there we go. You have your iMac 5K late 2014 running great. Oh, Lennis Tech Tips. Okay, I should see what they're saying about it. So this first stage, guys, we're going to take a pretty slow gravity turn here because we really want to gain altitude, because these upper stages, these Rhino engines will be pretty underpowered once we have booster separation. Just build a backup PC. Edible P-Man. That's a good question. They ask if Kerbal Space Program has the option of just like, are you talking about spontaneous? So I'm physically flying this. There's a huge chance of explosions if that's what you're asking. Any failure, any mistake in staging, anything like that will lead to massive Kerbal-like explosions, which is a huge part of Kerbal Space Program. But there are, in the stock version, there are no random explosions. Like, you wouldn't have, like, you lost an engine randomly, you know, like a failure probability, you know. It all performs as advertised in Kerbal Space Program, but that being said, there's still plenty of failures. There's still plenty of human mistakes and engineering mistakes, especially when you're playing with me. There we go. You're right, Joe Barnard. I agree. I have the exact 2013. It's been a great machine for me, guys. I've never had downtime with it, ever, for 4 years. And my home-built PCs, I would sometimes have a week off, and I had a lot before this. So here we go, guys. We're coming up on booster separation. 3, 2, 1. Please be clean. Oh, yeah. Clean sep. I don't see any explosions. That's a good sign. Bye. Bye, boosters. Alright. You're right. If you were purely playing Kerbal Space Program and maybe only streaming Kerbal Space Program, if that was all I was doing, if that was my job, yeah, I would absolutely build a PC. 100%. I could probably get it for half. But again, with all other things considered, and my career and doing music in Logic and starting to edit and do things in Final Cut, yeah, not changing. All right. You're right. I thought about trying to do a fully reusable launch vehicle, PYXLS. I've thought about doing that exact thing, and I wanted originally to make it so the whole thing was reusable. I just decided when we're trying to get this much mass up to Eve, we're just going expendable, unfortunately. But it's still, it's not all expendable at least, because this reusable, this upper stage that's nuclear powered, that'd be kind of the most expensive part of this ship in real life, is reusable. So that's kind of fun. It just stays in space. It's just a tug. Why build one PC when you can build two at twice the price? That's funny. Will I make a video about Rocket Lab? Well, guess what? If you were one of our Patreon members, the people in our Discord channel, we have been scripting, actually. We have an 8-page script ready for Rocket Lab. Unfortunately, I'm kind of shifting. That was what I was going to start shooting that this week, but I kind of shifted some priority. I realized, I know it's just ridiculous right now, the amount of Falcon Heavy hype and everything. But I do want to make sure we have a video for those people that are literally searching the terms, where can I watch Falcon Heavy? Both physically, in person, and I need to gain some altitude here. This is bad. And unfortunately, with this thing, I could actually maybe ignite these conkers. Maybe it came in a little bit too steep here for a second. Could throttle this down a little bit. Something like this will help. But we really want that thrust to weight ratio to stay high so we don't quite catch up to our apoapsis, our highest point. Alright. Why do you think SpaceX is going for a direct approach to Mars instead of deep space gateway type of thing? So the question here is basically, like, if you had a deep space gateway, you could stop, you could... The reality is, anytime you rendezvous, anytime you're docking with something else, anytime you're doing something, you're actually being less efficient than a direct transfer to Mars. And maybe that's, if you have the capability, the big problem is it takes a big stinking rocket to land, to do a direct to Mars landing. But that's what they're doing. They're building a big freaking rocket. And so the BFR is capable of that. So when you have that capability, it's actually more efficient. Yeah, that's why, I think. I do have a drone ship in Kerbal. Do I hold cryptocurrency, Jack? I did. I literally did until about 2 weeks ago, and then I panicked because it felt like gambling, and I don't want to gamble. I believe in cryptocurrency. I believe it's probably going to be the future. I definitely see the draw to it. I'm drawn to it. But right now it's just unstable and it's unsure, and until it becomes a little bit more stable platform, and especially as it's just a roller coaster right now, I'm just not ready personally to really invest anything in it personally, and I don't have money to invest right now. Last year was a crazy year, so howdy Switzerland. All right. Did you hear about the Humanity Star? Yes, Humanity Star is going in the script talking about Rocket Lab. To me, that is absolutely wonderful. So wonderful. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cut that engine now. I think we're fine. These are a little bit more efficient anyway. Thanks, Loopy. I agree with you. Loopy in our Discord channel had a good little commentary. Yeah, we're about 6 to 8 frames per second. We're working on 10ish now. But, you know, I also have the graphics a little higher than I probably would be doing. So, to reiterate, those people that are just now joining us, we will be trying to go to one of the most difficult planets to land on and get off. Landing on it's actually pretty easy. Getting off of Eve is very difficult. Eve is a lot like Venus in our solar system. So Kerbal Space Program doesn't use, at least stock doesn't have the stock solar system. It has its own kind of miniaturized, little different version of the solar system. And Eve is like double the gravity of Kerbin, which is kind of like Earth. Eve has double the gravity and double the atmosphere, so it's extremely hard to get off of. And we're going to be trying to land 2 Kerbals on the surface, which I've never actually landed 2 Kerbals on the surface, and get 2 Kerbals off of the surface and back home safely in one launch without any other launch, any rescue mission, hopefully. Guys, the funniest thing is I haven't even done all the math on this yet. I haven't, like, made sure we have the right amount of Delta V or anything. I'm just winging this thing. So you guys are along for the ride on this one. Alright. Alright, so we're coming up here. Up here, guys, you can see our apoapsis. That's our highest point. And down here is our periapsis, our lowest point. And as that raises, so right now you can see we're getting into orbit. But notice that currently our orbit runs into Kerbin. So even though we're gaining speed, if we were to turn off our engines right now, we would fall right back into the atmosphere right here. But we're speeding up, we're speeding up, we're speeding up. And now, here we go. Our orbit is actually starting to turn into a proper orbit, not just a parabolic arc. And as we get out here, now our periapsis, our lowest point, is rising. So we're going to get into about a 120 by 120 orbit. So we're going to go ahead and start coasting now. We're actually just shy of orbit. We're technically not in orbit until 70,000 meters. So 69 meters is kind of hilarious. 69,853 meters. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to go ahead and speed up, get out to our highest point, our apoapsis, which is currently 141,000 feet. Meters. Ugh. Stupid imperial system. And, do I think SpaceX should build rockets to compete with the Electron? Nope, they already did. For those of you that don't know, and I will talk about this in the video that we have scripted already, talking specifically about the Electron, Rocket Lab's Electron. SpaceX started with that business model. That's how SpaceX started. Their Falcon 1, they launched 5 times, 3 times were a failure. That's what got the company moving, and eventually they ran the numbers and they realized that they probably could make a lot more money. There's a bigger market for larger satellites. So they developed the Falcon 9. And actually also not only bigger satellites, but they, you know, initially made that amount of money because they secured a contract with this organization called NASA. Don't know if you've heard of them. And so once they secured that $1.3 billion, or eventually throughout the CRS program, they realized there's a lot more money and a lot more contracts and a lot more opportunities launching medium-class payloads. And so that their Falcon 9s become their workhorse. They totally scrapped Falcon 1 because it just wasn't even worth their time. Electron and Rocket Lab, they do see a business case for these small sats and providing a dedicated launcher. And that's something that we'll have to see. We'll have to see if they're right. I hope they are. And we're just going to speed up here real quick at our highest point and raise our lowest point until it matches or at least gets above 120. Just a personal goal. Here we go. Look at that. About a 140 by 142. Beautiful. Could SpaceX bring back the Falcon 1? They sure could, probably in a heartbeat if they had to. They sure do not want to, though. I can pretty much guarantee you that. I mean, there's no, if you're talking about either making a profit of $3 or $4, million versus, I'm making numbers up, versus $20 million, I think you're going to go with the more profitable. They've had their hands on bigger chunks of money than the Falcon one's even worth their time. They're a big company now, so there's just no point in operating a small sat launcher like that. And there we go, Dana, perfect. Dana Forcier Jr. and says it's all about price per kilogram, and that's what it honestly comes down to. So, I've never, hey, Ian the Pineapple in our Discord, I have never used Synergy to connect the Mac and the PC together. That sounds like some crazy talk there, my friend. I honestly have no idea what you're even talking about. But yeah, maybe. Okay, so here's where things get crazy, guys. You ready? We're going to do a little quick save here. Quick save for safety. I'm hoping to do this without quick save reverts, if possible. That's always a fun challenge. But here's the next part. You guys ready? All right. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to detach these boosters. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting something. Boosters are now detached. And they're staying very close nearby, which is not ideal. Maybe I should, actually, I'm going to go ahead and just get this thing a little bit out of the way. Well, maybe not. Maybe this is easy. Maybe this will be easier if I do it this way. All right, so here we go. We are in one of the boosters. It's this one. We're going to go ahead and detach the command module here, which has the 3 people on board. Check this out. Maybe. Bye. There we go. And now, stop it from running away from us too far. Because here's what we're going to be doing. We are going to target this. We're going to dock. Each one of these has its own. This is kind of, I'm pretty excited about this, actually. I'm not going to lie. We got to open these guys up. Open up the ear holes. Yeah. Somebody said their stream's a little choppy. It's probably just my computer right now. We're still running like 280 parts or something. So, yeah, it kind of still hates me a little bit, but we've gone through this conversation. We don't need to talk too much more about it. All right, so here we go. We are going to go ahead and negate our target. Why is it not flipping around right away? Get over there. Okay. Wow. What is happening? Am I controlling it from the wrong place or something? Control from here, please. This should not be acting this funny. I actually have no idea what's going on. We're drifting kind of without control at this point. And okay, well, this is very unusual. Sorry guys, I am like concentrating. But here we go. Let's just try and bring it into control again. There we go. I don't get why it's so wish-wash. Don't be so wishy-washy. Please. What is it doing? I have never had this happen before. Do I not have a pilot on board? Pilot? Hey, get better at being a pilot, you little jerk. What is going on? Have you guys ever seen anything like this where it's unable to... What? Like, watch, if I hold left... So I'm trying to just like simply yaw it one way, and it's not doing that. Let me try controlling from here, see if this helps. So it should be able to like easily flip itself. Even if we don't have RCS, it should easily... Am I out of like electricity or something? Yes. Yes, I am. Well, that could be. We're required to use monoprop right now. Wow, this is... And I didn't realize that I have these monoprops all almost facing entirely against each other. So that's probably why. This is not... I had no problem doing this when I had electricity. Alright, we're just gonna at least get heading towards our target again. Oh make up for it later. I can't promise you that, but we're gonna try. I forgot to send some double A's up there. Oh, crap. I'm surprised the electric charge is so... Why would it run out of electric charge right away? Okay. I'm gonna float it up here like this. I want it to just hold at the target, please. This might be, we might need to abort, actually, if we can't control this at all. Which we currently are absolutely almost incapable of doing. I have no roll control. I can yaw, I can go forward, backwards, easily. And I can kind of yaw off to one direction when I fire up both of them, but it will not let me, like, pitch, I guess the pitch and yaw, or roll, but I can strafe. If that makes sense. And on that axis, on these two axes, but changing degree is becoming virtually impossible. And I've never had this happen before. Hey, now there's another docking port. We could just sneak up towards this one. How about that? This is not looking good. I know, I've got an idea. Ready for this? I'm going to stop it from spinning. And we're going to fly, we're going to try docking using the big thing here. This might actually work. This would be obscene. If this works and the other one didn't. Okay, we're going to control from here. And then we're going to target this. This will be the dumbest thing. Oh my gosh. We'll try. Why not? This is a mess. This is a real mess. But we're trying. Oh no, are we gonna run into that booster? This might be more of a mess than I had imagined. No, I'm not going to set SCS to target mode because we want to strafe up against it, and we can't do that if we set SCS to target. You'll see what I'm talking about. And now that we are wildly out of control and ramming into this booster. A hug from Brazil. Well, thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you. Hi Brazil. I wish I spoke Portuguese to say hola, but better and more Portuguese-ish. Alright, well, guys, what do you think? Should we go ahead and get back to the point where we could just cheat electricity? Or we could try to abort and actually make it seem like we lost the mission. So I have, in the Discord channel, we have a lot of people saying there's no way this works. I still think, I'm going to give it one more try. This very well might eventually work. You'll see. Okay, I will try letting it auto-target. You might be right. I hate to admit that. Okay, booster. And the fact that those boosters didn't separate, like, at all. No, this is not working. What is that booster doing? Just hanging out. Looks like a whale. Why does it seem to be accelerating away from us? That's another major issue. Here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. We also are using up every resource we have to just do a simple docking maneuver. What are you doing to that poor booster? What did that booster ever do to you? Alright, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to revert. We're going to make a few adjustments here. So we are reverting. But it's safe to say we wouldn't have lost any Kerbals in this case, right? Because they were safely hanging out in capsules. But here's the deal. Here's the deal, guys. First off, these capsules themselves have no control using only monoprop. And I'll show you which direction. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to just throw these guys on here. This will solve that. Oh, great. I remember why I hate doing this. Okay, hang on. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Bear with me, Steve. So in order to build this easier, I'm going to stick it on here. Otherwise, you'll see. This is so we can still do radial symmetry easily. Okay, now we're going to have no problem. Now we're going to just stick this right back here. There we go. Heat shield. Get back in there. Not heat shield. Docking port. That too. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do to make sure that we don't have that issue again, I want to make sure that these boosters, when we separate, we need a little distance on them. So I'm going to throw a few of these Vernier engines. Is that right? Everybody, I still don't know how to pronounce anything. We're just going to toss a couple of these bad boys on here. And this way, if we need to separate further, we can do so. Oh yeah, mirroring. Oops. Don't know where that went. Just went to the underside. The upside down. Hey, I said copy! And then we're just going to throw, just to make sure we have a little bit of control this way, kind of in the middle here. Something like that. And again, this would be so much easier if we could do radial symmetry. Okay, I copied you, but you aren't copying. Hey, I did. I'm about to punch. Oh, there it is. It is in there. Okay. Okay, that should help. So, all right. I think we're ready for this. So, I think we're ready now. I'm trying to think, was there anything else we need to improve upon? Maybe, oh, actually, I know one. I definitely need more batteries in the descent module here. You guys are getting a little sneak peek of this thing, and I don't really want you to see everything. Hang on, I'm going to close this door up, because I want to surprise you with how we're going to get off of Eve. It is absurd. It is the silliest slash my most proud moment of my adult life. Sort of. Not really. Maybe. Debatable. We're gonna just throw a couple battery packs on this old thing here. Okay, we're also gonna do the same thing. We might as well throw one little battery pack up on these command modules, right? I don't like the idea of just running out of batteries for fun. So we're gonna just stick one underneath the docking port. Is it this one we need? Yep. Okay, that'll help 1,000,000 to 1. Check yo staging though. Oopsies. You know what else I just did? I only did that to one side, not the other. What a day. What a slop job. Symmetry mirror. There we go. Now we want these to detach up here and not necessarily with these boosters. Okay. I think we're ready. We've got, we do have solar panels down here on this stage, but that's only once we get the whole thing ready to go. So you guys are going to see, this thing is going to be ridiculous. And I promise if this works, it's going to blow your mind. You know what? What if I made it so this seemed like a fresh stream right here and we did a little cut in YouTube afterwards so that when I post it, we don't see all the failure. I think I'm actually going to do exactly that. So get ready. I'm going to act like we're coming out fresh out of break, and you guys are going to have to watch me re-intro this. And then I'm going to, let's get a time marker on this. 42 minutes. Hey, Discord, remind me 42 minutes is where I made this break. Ready? I'm going to go ahead and do that little intro, and I'm going to come out, and we're going to make it all friendly, and like, this is how we've had it this whole way. But you're welcome, you guys, because you actually got to see some more of the development. Otherwise, I would have just done this off camera. So you're getting a bonus round. All right, ready? Here is the punch-in I'll be right back in 8 seconds or however long it is.
3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. One small step for man.
Ooh la la, we are going to Eve. Oh, are we ever going to Eve? Okay, I've got some crazy surprises for you guys. And now don't forget, as the title says, we are taking 2 Kerbals in one launch. Well, there won't even be 2 Kerbals, there'll actually be 6 Kerbals. But the thing is, we're going to have 2 Kerbals walk on the surface of Eve and get off of Eve, which is very difficult because Eve in Kerbal Space Program is sort of like Venus is to our solar system. Double the gravity, double the atmosphere, really hard to get off of. Kind of considered the ultimate challenge. So to be able to do it all in one launch without refueling and stuff will be pretty darn exciting. So here's how it works. We are going to, again, and all these parts are stock. We need to put our guys, our Kerbals, into the command pods, because we do actually have 2 command pods with abort towers, which is always a good thing. So we're going to put a scientist, a pilot, and an engineer on every available seat here. And then once they're hanging out in space, it's luxurious. There's lots of fun things. We could even put a tourist in there if we want, but we need an engineer. We need engineers. So there's a crew, there's a backup crew, basically. And this thing is now ready to go to Eve for the very first time, our very first attempt ever. Right, guys that have been watching the whole time? All right, I think we are ready. Let's get this baby out on the launch pad. Hopefully it saved I had it set up with the proper rendezvous of Eve. Hey, I'm not lying to my subs. Am I? Yeah, we just did this. There's a chance I might try to cut out the first bit so that you don't have to watch all the boring struggles of everyday astronautisms. That is one word, for those of you wondering. All right, let's see here. We are still in alignment with Eve. That is just beautiful. We're going to go ahead and target it now for fun. How does one even return from Eve? You have to have a big rocket to get off of Eve. You have to have a rocket about the size of... You have to have a bigger rocket to get off of Eve. Whatever lands on Eve has to be bigger than the rocket, like a normal rocket to get you off of Kerbal. So imagine like the smallest rocket you could use to get off of Kerbal, or to get off of Earth, I guess, if you want to imagine it that way. A rocket that has to get off of Eve has to be bigger than a normal small rocket. Obviously, it doesn't have to be bigger than this rocket. That doesn't make sense, but this is the rocket that requires... I don't know what I'm saying. I think we're just ready to go. This is not a launch song. We need a launch song. I always do this, and then I realize, like, what's the point? What's the point? All right, 3, 2, 1, hip, hip. Here we go. We are going to Eve, ladies and gentlemen. Very slowly at first, and with very few frames per second at first. Kerwin lies. Zane Animations. How does one even get off of Eve? My mic is too hot and clipping. Thank you for the feedback. Feedback. I will knock it down a notch. Hopefully that helps. I appreciate the feedback. Oh yeah, Kerbals. I always get Kerbals, Kerbal. I get it all confused. I'm bad at stuff. What do I think about Blue Origin from Electric Pie? Guess what, guys? I love Blue Origin. I love Blue Origin. I love Rocket Lab. I even love ULA. And I, of course, love NASA. I am excited. I hope that, you know, an orbital ATK, anyone that is working on rockets is incredible. And the people that work there are amazing. You know, I don't want us to get into this world where we're trying to be like I never understood sports, because all of a sudden people rally around one specific team, even though the players go all over the place. So you'll have your favorite quarterback going to a different team, and all of a sudden you'll still be like, oh, darn it, the guy that you just loved. You'll be like, yeah, Jimmy Kansas, or whoever was the quarterback of the Waterloo Chinnoogers. He's now playing for the Kentucky Bearloots, and you're really mad because you hate the Kentucky Bearloots. And he left, so now you hate him, but you just loved him before. I never understood that mentality. Like, why isn't it all fun? It's a, you know, and to me, that's kind of how rocket science is, and exploration. Yes, there's different philosophies, there's different price ranges, there's different Some people are being a little more efficient and a little more sexy about it, and a little bit more inspirational. I will 100% agree with you. I have my favorites, of course, but I'm never going to cheer against somebody. I'm never, ever going to say I hope they fail in the endeavor of space, ever. And, you know, I think that's something we can do differently as science advocates, as people that are fans of exploration and fans of science. We don't have to choose sides. We just say it's all good. Yes, again, saying, you know, when you're talking specifically maybe about funds, like if you're talking about SLS versus, you know, maybe another rocket that might be a 10th the price, I'm going to have a hard time not agreeing that maybe something that's a 10th the price that can perform the same job might do better. But I'd rather have SLS than nothing, and sometimes that is the option right now. And until that all gets figured out, I'm just Team Space. I am Team Space. I'm 100% Team Blue Origin, 100% Team SpaceX, 100% Team ULA, NASA, Orbital ATK, Rocket Lab. Give me it. Virgin Galactic. Give me the space. That's what I am. Did I know that John Innsbrucker, who is famously a moderator at SpaceX, he's one of the hosts, worked on the EELV program? I did not know that. That is awesome. Dang. That's crazy. Loopy's got this insane thing that he sent off to Eve. Loopy, were you able to get anything off of Eve? Or is it just a, like, Eve spaceship he's showing us in the Discord channel? And stage separation here. Beautiful. Bad. Sorry. We want a strong back in KSP. Please refrain from using any cuss words. We do have families and children watching this stream, so... But yes, where are our strong backs? The New York Quaaludes. What do I think about every space company working together to make a large moon base from Robert Murphy? Here's the deal. It's unrealistic. There's definitely an incentive to having competition. But I think the idea that maybe certain companies could be, you know, working, if you're talking about a moon base, hey, Bigelow, we have an inflatable HAB module. Hey, Lockheed Martin, you guys are awesome at producing this certain, you know, locking mechanism and this docking port and some of the avionics. Like, let's say that you guys do that. I love that collaborative effect. It becomes hard and it can become inefficient. But sometimes that's what it takes to get stuff done. You know, the International Space Station. The U.S. poured more money in it than anybody else, but we got more out of it because other people were collaborating. And I think that's, yeah. What's the soundtrack? It is my own music that I write. This is an unreleased song, guys. It hasn't made it into another video yet, so you guys are getting a little secret sneak peek. This is going to be used on an upcoming video, so yeah, you guys are, it's called The Scale of It All. You guys are getting a little sneak peek. If any NASA program were to come back that was canceled in the past, what would you personally want to see and why? I 100% would love to see the Saturn V fly. And come to find out, had we have continued to maybe work on the Saturn V to make it more cost efficient, it definitely would have been a better choice altogether than the space shuttle by a long run. That's my answer. Definitely is Saturn V. I love that rocket, and can you imagine if we had worked on stage recovery? They had plans to do kind of... It probably wouldn't have worked out, but it still would have been really cool to see them start trying to think reusability. Or not go beyond thinking, but actually developing reusability for a Saturn V type of launch vehicle. I sure would have loved that. Okay, we're getting up high enough here that pretty soon I can probably cut that that KS-25 engine back there. Isn't ULA a cooperative venture? Yes, it is Boeing and Lockheed Martin. That's cool. Loopy, sorry, I'm just not kind of getting caught up down here. We're not to Eve yet. You'll get there in a few days. You literally started the mission on the stream in September by launching the payload. Whoa. Wait. Loopy, you're playing without... Loopy, hey, Loopy, go ahead and in our chat, link to where you live stream at. Because he has been working without fast forwarding or time warping, real time getting to Eve. That is crazy. That's really cool. The advantage, oh, for sure. Neuropilot says they disagree in our Discord channel. Says you disagree, Everyday Astronaut. The big advantage of Falcon Heavy over Saturn V is that Falcon Heavy cores can be road transported. That is a huge cost savings. That's one of the brilliant things that SpaceX does, is they designed the Falcon 9 and therefore the Falcon Heavy to be within literally inches of the maximum diameter to be able to just be road transported by a standard semi. That saves on, I mean, that now we're talking about transport fees that are maybe, you know, $20,000-$30,000 or something, instead of, you know, $1 million or $2 million. And that is a paradigm shift for rocketry, because they're developing a heavy lift vehicle that can be transported entirely over the interstate system. That's amazing. That is genius. You're exactly right, Neuropilot. And the other thing that we need to mention, though, we're just talking about if we were to bring back a launch vehicle, and that's when I think that the Saturn V would just be so cool to see back. Or at least have had continue. But yeah, no, I'm very excited about where we're going with launch vehicles. Blue Origin's working on some, you know, heavy plus class launch vehicles. I'm really excited. I don't regret. Like, the only thing is I wish I would have been able to see in person a space shuttle fly and a Saturn V. I think I would. Anything you don't see fly in person, I think you're going to be sad you don't see. Luckily, I've seen Falcon 9, Delta 4, Delta 4 Heavy, Delta 2, Atlas V. I've seen basically everything flying right now except for like Orbitals and Taris. I have not been able to see one of those launch yet. Let's see. Do you think they'll push back Falcon Heavy launch at last minute? And what would you do if they push it back? So Ruben, I'm already expecting, personally, just mentality-wise, I'm assuming there will be a pushback. There will be some kind of slip in the, you know, February 6th probably won't be the actual date that Falcon Heavy flies. There's a good chance we get all the way to, you know, T-minus 10 minutes on February 6th potentially, and it goes on to the next day, or it could even go on 4 days later or something. But I think, you know, I am dedicated to, I could, if I had to. I don't want to, because I really want to be home working, and especially as some other things come online here for me this year. I'm really going to need some time at home. I'll be gone a lot. But that being said, I can commit probably an extra week to being down there to catch Falcon Heavy, but I don't want to. So, Alley Cat in our Discord channel is going to post a link to Loopy, who's a patron member, or Discord member, and he is doing some awesome live streams. So go ahead and check out, if you guys want to check out his channel, subscribe. Yeah, that's really, really, really cool. Ahead of a launch, how does the remote cameras sit without supervision before launch? Are you talking hours? You're talking about a day typically, almost 24 hours most days is how often you get to go out and set up your remote cameras. And so here's how the remote camera situation works. You have your camera with your lithium-ion battery, and it stays in standby. So it's, you know, like if you ever had your camera sit out for 2 minutes and then you go and you like just click a button instead of turning it on, it actually goes to sleep and it's basically off. It's, for all intents and purposes, it's off. And it can be awakened easily just by the touch of a button. And what it does is it's hooked up to the sound trigger, right? And the sound trigger you set to a certain threshold to be, hang on, let me concentrate here for 1 second. I'm going to get us up to that, like just over 120. These sound triggers then can only be, you set the threshold. So, you know, you go and you tap on it, you go, okay, that's pretty quiet, and it's still triggering. And what it does is it just triggers through like the remote port of a camera. And then what you do is you make it so only something crazy, crazy loud, like, oh, I don't know, an orbital class rocket taking off can wake that up. And those sound triggers can last about 2 days, maybe 48 hours. If there is a reset that let us go back out and replace batteries, you also have to plan on, if it's like a night launch or an early morning launch, you know, like 2 hours after sunset, you want to put hand warmers on the lenses, because otherwise condensation builds up on the front element of the lens. It's a lot of fun, and you put the camera in manual so that you know it doesn't try to shift focus on you, it doesn't try to change exposure, because we know how bright the engines are with each launch, so it's a lot of fun. And again, if you guys aren't familiar, I do have a lot of my launch pictures up on my website, everydayastronaut.com. They're only in the shot portion. I have a few others in my Tim Dodd photography. But if you want to see some of my launch photos, everydayastronaut.com/shop. You can find, yeah, you can find those there. It's fun. You can press Alt and a full stop button to time warp during a burn. Yes, I am aware of that. Yep. A physics warp during burns and acceleration changes. Sure thing. We'll go ahead and get out here to 120 though. Do I still post on Instagram? I will be posting on Instagram for one of the first times with a new image in probably like 6 months. I have to say, guys, YouTube definitely took my energy compared to Instagram. I did Instagram for 3 years, very heavily. Look, go if you are new to following me on Instagram, or you saw that speech that I recently posted about my Instagram account and stuff. It used to be what I would spend a lot of time and energy on, and the problem is, guys, I got so into trying to teach people about space. It started off kind of more inspirational. I wanted to make people think about space, but then I started realizing, like, the cool things to me about space is the actual, like, historical elements and some of the large size cool things that make my brain explode. And I was trying to get people excited about that stuff. And it's really hard to do on Instagram because the attention span on Instagram is like maybe 2 seconds on a lucky day. And so I realized if I'm going to really actually want to teach people anything rocket science and space flight related, I'm going to have to try YouTube. And so last year I made the commitment. At the beginning of 2017, I decided I was kind of doing some live streaming. That wasn't working out so well. So I was like, all right, I'm going to start committing to making directed, educational videos about specific topics and kind of news sources or news topics on space. And that's how we are here today. Because you guys responded very positively, and the retention rate, the amount of time people will spend watching the videos, made me realize the value of education on YouTube over Instagram was 1,000,000,000 to 1. Because again, like I said, I would be happy as a clam to have someone spend 3 minutes on Instagram when it's easy to get people to watch I'd be happy if someone spent 5 seconds on Instagram, and it's so easy to get 5 or 10 minutes of attention span and educational opportunities on YouTube. So it's just a totally different game. But yes, I'll be posting a picture tomorrow. So there we go. Hello. Greetings from Spain. Awesome. Am I interested in expanding to the Arab-speaking world? Of course, Rami. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, space is for everybody. Space is for absolutely everybody. And oh no, my website's down. Yeah, that stuff happens. Not surprised. All right, let's do a quick save here. Hopefully this time we are ready. Let's pop out to the other side of the planet so we can see this baby in sunlight. I don't like doing this kind of stuff in dark, although we could change the ambient light settings and that would probably help. And here comes sunrise. Okay, good enough. All right, guys, you ready for this? Let's try this again. Hopefully this booster separation here, what I'm going to do, booster set, and we're gonna push these guys away, which I'll have to figure out which way is away. This way is away. See, much better. Now we don't have to worry quite so much about it just absolutely smashing into the rest of the ship. So this might have to be the opposite keys. No, let's see here. I'm literally just looking at the exhaust plume. Okay, so we have stage separation. Let's go back. Let's go back to the mothership here. Let's open up those ears, the shields. And this is where we're going to dock to. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and eject the. Okay. Hopefully, I have better control now with this thing. We should have a ton better control. Set as target. Okay. Wrong way. And here we go. We're flying towards it right now. Actually, we're going to go ahead and fly a little bit past it so we line up with it a little better. You'll see what I'm talking about. There we go. That one. Okay, we seem to be pretty well in line with it here, so we'll just keep going until we're more lined up with it that way, which seems to be about there. Okay, and here we come for the dock. Boom! If Tim ever wants Norwegian subs for his videos, of course I want Norwegian subs. I don't know how you exactly propose of that, but I'm all ears for Norwegian subs. Does anyone out there speak is English their, you know, their non-native language? Because I'm definitely interested in helping. If someone wants to help community content, hit me up. Email info@everydayastronaut.com or find a way to, you know, send me a message on YouTube or something. But I will send some sweet swag your way, t-shirts and signed prints or something. If you're willing to help script and translate into your native language, if you're comfortable with doing so, that would be a huge value to me. My videos are long, so it'd be a commitment, but let me know if you're at all interested in doing that. I would be very excited to hear from you. Okay. We have 1 successfully docked. Let's make it 2, shall we? The ones that I'm really looking for, if anyone is a native Spanish speaker, that's probably one of the biggest target audiences that I can't reach. And here's the thing, Europeans, I love you guys. Literally, I love Europeans. I love everybody. The funny thing about translating into most European languages, especially like say German, Norwegian, and things like that, is most of those people speak English. Like my 3rd biggest country of viewership is already in Germany. And as much as I still think we could probably help reach more people, I actually think we'd probably do the best trying to translate into Spanish, because I feel there's definitely less Spanish speakers that speak English than there are, say, German, the percentage-wise, and Spanish is one of the biggest other languages in the world. Mandarin would make sense, but I don't post. If I could post to the website that's common in China, that'd be awesome, but I haven't ever tried that. I forget what that website is. It's kind of like their YouTube. Don't forget the Dutch. I won't forget the Dutch. I love Scandinavia. I love it all. Let's see. Hang on. Sorry, I've been kind of concentrating here and ranting way too much now. So the point of translating into Spanish is that someone that doesn't speak English could still be learning about rocket science in their native language by reading the subtitles. To me, that's a huge, huge value. It's you know, there's great information out there, and if you wanted to learn about spaceflight stuff, there just might not be as good of resources. How many people out there, me included, have learned most of the things they know about spaceflight off of YouTube and off of Kerbals Space Program? That's literally probably been a vast majority of the way that I've actually understood and kept up with spaceflight events. And so if you don't speak English and you are interested in this stuff, how else are you going to find it? So it's a huge, a really, really, really important thing to be able to reach. You know, the whole, basically everyone south of me, south of the United States, speaks Spanish except for Brazil, Portuguese. So there's I mean, there's billions of people that speak Spanish, and most of those people, the vast majority, don't speak English. So if we want to reach them, you got to speak their language. I'm going to do this. I'm going to fly past it. You'll see what I'm doing again. Trying to line up with it more. Okay. I'm just being aggressive with this because I don't want to wait any longer. Not bad. That'll probably be close enough. And we're about to get our Frankenstein ears going. Here we are. Ta-da! Alright, that's part 1 of rendezvous and docking with this silly thing. Aussies are south of you, mate. You can understand doggo? Is that what you said? That's hilarious. Yeah, sorry, and I'm in the Americas. You know, if you go south of the United States, pretty much all Spanish speaking. I speak un poco español, pero es muy mal. In other words, I speak very little Spanish, and it's very bad. So yes, I don't think we're going to be doing an Everyday Astronaut Spanish channel with me speaking anytime soon. Okay. If I could, would I live on Mars? I would not live on Mars, but I'll visit it and return once it's super safe, like getting on a cruise ship. Oh, MH Techie. What do I think of Skylon Sabre? I do love the Skylon Sabre engine. Skylon is the single stage to orbit launch vehicle, for those of you who don't know. And then the Sabre engine is a air-breathing engine at first that converts into a rocket engine. And I think, of course, that makes a lot of sense. And I'd love to see it properly funded. The only problem is that properly funded part. They are working on a shoestring budget when it comes to aerospace. They are working on nothing for what could be potentially a huge game-changing thing. So I'm a big fan of Skylon and Sabre. So Dutch is not Scandinavian. That is correct. Danish is, not Dutch. All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quick save here. And we're going to go on to this next stage, which hopefully I do okay without making an absolute fool of myself. Oh, here we go. Okay, we're going to control this baby from here. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to fly forward first. So I'm just trying to get my footings for this thing. Okay. Hopefully this is accurate. Set this baby as target. We're going to fly forward. I'm just speeding up here. And then we're going to flip this baby around 180 degrees and fly right back at it. Oh yeah, I have reaction wheels in here actually. I meant to do this. Everyone's really excited for me to lock onto target, but I'm trying not to waste all my monoprop. Okay. So we're just gonna do it this way. Hey, thanks, Hinch55, enjoying the music. I appreciate that. I enjoy writing it. We will, there'll be more to come, don't worry. I have like 20 songs that I wrote just in the past year alone, so there's a lot more where that came from. Okay, so now we gotta just kind of make sure this is aiming the right way. And then we're gonna get ready to get our butts to Eve! Set as target. Yes, please. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and aim this bad boy at target. Okay, back to this ship. Okay, and here we go. We are going to point this now. Target. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Cammy. Thank you for the tip, and I'm glad you're in here. Thank you so much. Wish me luck. Thanks for joining. Again, sorry. I'm trying to keep up with everything. There's a lot of stuff going through. How do I make music and what instruments do I play? So I personally use Logic. I've become very familiar with it. I was an old Pro Tools guy, but went to Logic, which is obviously, again, a Mac-only thing, which is something I can't live without now, unfortunately. And I play all instruments. I was originally a drummer, but I became a guitar player probably 10, 15 years ago or so. Yeah, like probably 15 years ago. and because it's kind of hard to write songs on drums, right? So that's, you know, started taking on a little bit of guitar, and then I really don't play drums anymore, though. I haven't been able to play drums. I don't have room for a drum set anymore, so I have to write everything on a keyboard, which is not nearly as fun as playing the drums. Play some guitar, please. Maybe if we get a second. If there's a good time where we're just trying to blow off, trying to pass the time, maybe we'll throw in a little guitar. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and slow down a little bit here. These two things might be fighting each other. It looks like they're fighting each other a lot. Wow. Wow, what is happening? Excuse me. Maybe it's because the other guy is... We have RCS, oopsies, on that other guy. Get back here. Wait, this guy. Let's turn this garbage off. And... we're just gonna push it like this. Hold on, sorry. I saw that somebody did a super chat. I'll be with you in 1 second here. I do not trust target keeping it set to the target anymore. What is happening? Am I stuck on something? Wow, now we're all sorts of wishy-washy. Eee! Sorry guys, I'm concentrating to try to get this dot going. This is a pretty vital part of my whole plan. So if we can't get the fish to eat from the other fish's mouth, or whatever is going on here, this is the weirdest ship I've ever made, that's for sure, but you'll see why I do it. It all will eventually make sense. Maybe. At least it makes sense to me. Maybe it's just the dumbest thing in the world. Come on! I'm gonna just straighten this out quick. Okay. Sorry, I will get this, I promise. I've had pretty good luck, actually, the one other time that I tried this. Maybe. Come on, it's so crooked. Okay, we're gonna back out quick. And then just approach it straight on. Okay, you really want to see the launch, and since you're from Florida, you might go down. How far is 10 miles in terms of being able to see the rockets? Close. 10 miles you'll be able to probably, to be honest, I've actually never, unfortunately I can't speak entirely of that because I've actually never been anywhere but the press site for launches, so I can't exactly speak to that. But 10 miles is definitely where most people get to experience a launch from, and it seems like it's still a phenomenal place to view a launch from. So yeah, I would say buckle up because it's probably going to be fantastic. First off, I want to make sure we're matched here. I don't know how we got so off on this. This isn't that hard of a thing to do at all. And I almost wonder if it was because we're targeting the actual port, right? Yes, we are. And just to make sure we're aligned to make it look okay, I'm gonna put us horizontally like this, north and south. Okay, like that. Switch to this guy again. Sorry guys, this is taking way longer than it should. Do a little quick save here. Okay, we're coming in for our 50th rendezvous attempt. Yep, we've got a quick save going. And Zachary, thank you. Prey, thank you. Zachary, thank you. Thank you guys so much. And Trond, awesome. Is that a new... Tron, are you a new patron member? If so, thank you very much. That's awesome. I really, really appreciate you joining our Discord channel, Tron. Okay, I think we're going to do it this time here. I see no issues arising. This just looks like a standard issue. Did I open the docking port? Is that maybe my issue? If that's my issue, I'm going to laugh. No, it looks open. It is open. Come on. Come on, you piece of cabbage. I'm wasting so much monoprop. Okay. Please, just do your job. There we go, finally! Finally, right at the end of the song. Perfect. Now we can extend our solar panels and our heat shield things. Perfect. Look, guys, we did it. Now I can reveal to you more of the thing. Watch this. So inside here we have a science lab and a cupola, or however you say it. I'm also going to make sure this isn't open all the way because it runs into those. That would just look ugly. There we go. So now if our Kerbals want to stretch their legs a little bit, they can go hang out in the science lab or the cupola. Woo! Don't forget to quick save. I like that thinking. Okay, so here's the deal, my friends. I think I'm going to take a 3-minute break, use the restroom. Please stick around because we are going to Eve. We're going to get off of Eve. We're going to have the best time. We're going to just have... I'm so happy. It's Saturday. We have a Falcon Heavy launch coming up in like 9 days, 10 days. And yeah, I'm very excited. Oh, real quick though, we got to answer this from Marcelo. Thank you. Why do I never talk about Blue Origin? What do I think of their strategy? Any upcoming videos on New Glenn? You must have missed slightly earlier. First, thank you so much for the tip. You may have missed earlier. I talked a good amount about Blue Origin in this live stream and just said I love them and I love what they're doing. And I am a huge proponent, is that the right word? Yeah, proponent of anyone doing space things, period. And Blue Origin is actually going to be definitely... In the long run, they might end up being the turtle and the hare, the tortoise and the hare, the turtle and the rabbit in the old race, where they're very slow, methodical. They're very, like, this is what we're going to work on, and we're going to be very slow and cautious about it. And then after it's successful, then we'll let everyone know that we're successful. They're very secretive, and I personally don't quite... I wish they would kind of blend their current approach and SpaceX's approach and be one notch more aggressive and ambitious, maybe. Although their first orbital rocket is insanely ambitious. Their first orbital rocket is basically somewhere in between, like a Falcon. Basically, their first orbital rocket will be, you know, in between capability of a Falcon Heavy and a Falcon 9. So it's a massive, 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 massive rocket for your first rocket to try to reach orbit with, and they're going to be landing it and stuff. So it's crazy. It is crazy. So I love Blue Origin. I know people there, and they're great, and they're an awesome aerospace company. So, that's awesome. All right, guys, I will be right back. I have to use the restroom, so I'll be taking a quick little 3-minute breather here. Stick around, though, please. Please stick around, and I'll be right back. I think we all dreamt about going to space when we were kids. But when the space shuttle program ended in 2011, I discovered a void in my life. That emptiness led to a newfound obsession with space. A few years later, I wound up bidding on a Russian spacesuit as a joke. When the box arrived at my doorstep, my friends asked, "What are you going to do with a spacesuit?" The answer? What can't I do with a spacesuit? That's how Everyday Astronaut was born. Since then, the suit hasn't left my side. It's even gone around the world with me. From remote villages in Myanmar, rockets and spaceships, to beautiful fields in Norway,
fighting a cow to get a picture right now.
Here I am on vacation in the beautiful Norway with my beautiful boyfriend.
I even proposed to my wife in the suit at Machu Picchu in Peru. These days I work with leaders in the space industry to create fun and inspirational content. I've even been invited to different NASA facilities across the country, all for the sake of sharing my excitement with the world.
Hey there, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but NASA is doing some incredible...
This is church for us space nerds. This is where Gene Kranz was sitting when people first met him.
This is with permission.
I still don't know how.
I love that I'm standing on something that says urine bags.
This thing's gonna fly like a cat heat. Whatever that means. That dog's gonna have a sore throat by the end of the day, I'll tell you that. Especially once he tries to explain to his friends that he just saw an astronaut flying majestically through the sky for an hour.
This thing has officially become the bane of my existence.
Everyday Astronaut's mission is to bring space down to Earth for everyday people, to communicate science through humor and imagination, but most importantly, to spark your curiosity, to want to find your place in the cosmos. Join my adventures as I seek to find out why exploring space is important, inspiring, and quite frankly, really, really neat. Show your support by visiting patreon.com/everydayastronaut. Okay, we're back. I hope we didn't lose everybody because we haven't even got to the fun part yet. We just did the stressful lead up to our exciting launch out to Eve. Look at this thing. We have room on here for tons of Kerbals. We're only taking 6 out to Eve. 2 of them will land on Eve. But they're at least going out in style and class. They're going to be having just a great, fantastic time. Alright, let's go ahead and target Eve, which I think we did at one point and now we have not. And we are going to prepare our maneuver. Now this may be a multi-burn. We are using nukes to do this. So we may have to make multiple passes, and actually, to be entirely honest with everybody, that is something that I have... Oh yeah, we gotta go retrograde. Whoopsies. So this means we are going to be actually inserting our orbit to the point where we're slowing down and shrinking our highest point from the sun. Our lowest point from the sun. So we are working on trying to get somewhere within the region of Eve. Now, we need an Eve intercept. That's important. So I'll keep going like this until we eventually see something. Are we that far off on our inclination? How much would I pay to go to space for the day? To be entirely honest, hey, thank you, Destructor1701. Glad you're in here. Thank you. Destructor1701's name comes up very, very often on Tomorrow. And again, I need to mention this because it blows my mind how many people don't know about Tomorrow. It's been a show for like almost 10 years, and they've kind of made some transitions from Space Vidcast into Tomorrow. But if you are not watching Tomorrow on YouTube for your space news, you're doing the internet wrong. You're doing space wrong, because they are phenomenal. The amount of production and time and effort that goes into those shows is insane. They're very well spoken. They're very well knowledgeable. They're very fun. They have a phenomenal community full of really passionate space people. They have a lot of people that watch that show that are industry professionals. And it goes to show you actually get a lot of expertise just by watching their show. You will learn so much. That's my pitch for Tomorrow. If you aren't watching TMRO, YouTube, go find them, TMRO. Oh, Toby, you found me first on Tomorrow. That's crazy. Okay. So, I didn't realize that, Toby. I didn't realize you were a Tomorrowian. Tomorrowian. So I can't find our intercept. Maybe I am way too far off. If anything, this might still be too far away. So let's just try playing around with this a little more here. I want to see if we're even close. I'm not even seeing an intercept at all. We have some Delta V to spare to do this. Like, we have a lot of Delta V, so that's not the issue. Alright, what do you guys think? Do I need to... Hey, thanks, Jokin. Hey, no way, Franka Steve. That's amazing. Thank you so much for offering to do that. That's amazing. Franka Steve says they're translating my video into French. That honestly means a lot. Like, that's, to me, one of the best ways we can reach a bigger audience and teach more and more people about space. If you speak another language and you're comfortable physically being able to translate well, and if you learn from my videos and from others like it, contributing by translating is like the best thing you could do, because think about how many people in your country, in your exact region could learn that maybe don't speak English and aren't fortunate enough to be able to speak English, because I'm very aware that English is not the only language out there, and I wish so badly that I spoke at least one other language fluently. So, okay, what do you guys think here? Thanks to Friendly Clorox Bleach. Tom, what's up? So, oh, I lost my Discord channel. Where did you guys go? I'm trying to figure out here if my intercept is just way off or what. Look at the resultant orbit around Eve. Inclination is probably off, says Fell Knight. And I agree. Apparently, because we do have a descending node that's popping up. Where did it go? Well, I'm out of it right now. So we could just get into sun synchron. We could just go get into the orbit around the sun first if we wanted to. And once we do that, let's see here. Then we could change our inclination. We could probably just do that no problem. Something like this. Go here, add another maneuver, and raise or lower our inclination. But this just always confuses me. Something like this, shall we? That looks like we're pretty well matched. Now, I am shocked now that we're still not seeing... We should easily be able to see an intercept of some kind with... Aha, there we go. How much Delta V are we wasting here? Okay. So we could do that. We could just do that. Hey, UK IT consultant. Greetings from the UK. Unfortunately, you only speak a little Portuguese, but you have already asked a friend about translating. That's awesome. Thank you and welcome to Discord there. That's awesome. All right. I think we're gonna go ahead and just I think we're just gonna break this up into two events. Now we know we can get a clean intercept without adding a ton of Delta V. I think. I guess I didn't see the numbers. And we have Delta V to spare. We got Delta V for weeks. Let me make sure we're doing this fairly efficiently though. Because that looks like we could probably be going like this and not exerting as much Delta V to do our initial burn here. Okay. TMRO. It's actually just the letters T, M, and then the letters R and the letter O. YouTube.com/tomorrow. TMRO. There we go. Okay. So, am I going to be at the Falcon Heavy launch? You better believe it. You better get your believing buckets ready. Because yes. Yes, I will be. Okay. We are slowly... Not slowly anymore. I'm getting impatient. We are going to go ahead and... Oh, wait. We got to make sure we're lined up so that we're controlling from here still. Which I think we are. Yep. Okay, we are. And a 19-minute burn, huh? Let me see if that's actually accurate. I'm going to flare up these engines for a second. Oh, 9-minute burn. There we go. So that means we could probably do this in one burn. 4-minute long burn, maybe a little... We'll start about 4 minutes and 15 seconds away from that node. Hopefully that's enough time to not totally dip into the atmosphere. So I'm speeding up here. 4 minutes and... Sure, 15-ish seconds. Gonna quick save here. And here we go. Going to Eve. gonna see if this can hold without wasting any monoprop. I do have some large reaction wheels that I'm hoping can do the job, because the center of thrust is massively offset from the center of mass, because look at, we are at a funny angle. I wonder if I actually flipped it around, if it would do better. It is definitely drifting a little bit, so maybe I gotta keep RCS just to keep us safe through this burn, and hopefully don't waste too much stuff. Robert, oh sorry, I never answered how much I would pay to go to space if I was 100% safe. Right now, realistically, I would pay, I mean, are we talking orbit or suborbit? You said 1 day, so a day. We're going to assume we're going to go into orbit for 24 hours. I'd be willing to pay $50,000. And for me, that, you know, we're talking every penny I could imagine scrambling up. So I would pay everything I'm worth, basically, to do that. I don't, yeah, that's entirely unreasonable for a price. I don't think that's ever going to be an option, but yeah, space will never be 100% safe. Just like you're driving your car is never 100% safe. Here's my bet on Falcon Heavy, guys. People ask me this all the time. I think that Falcon Heavy has about a 90% chance of clearing the tower and getting off the pad. I think it has about a 85% chance. I'm making these up, these change every time, and actually it's still changing for me. About an 85% chance of surviving max Q. I think it has about a 77% chance of surviving booster separation, having successful booster separation. If it does that, I think it'll have about a 70% chance of doing everything else, because there's very few things after booster separation that are different from a standard Falcon 9. The stage separation should be the same, you know, things like that. So, I would definitely say, yeah, that I have fairly high confidence, actually. I'm well beyond 50% of it actually being 100% success. I'm like 60% that all 3 cores will land. I'm like 2/3, 66%. There we go. That's my final statement. 60% sure that all 3 cores will land, and that we'll actually see Tesla heading out on its TMI, its trans-Martian injection. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of warping here, a little accelerate physics warp. Have I heard anything about the F-1B project? NASA fired the fuel pumps from the unflown F-1. I'd never heard about NASA firing up an F-1 again, an F-1B. I'd never heard about that. In which case I can't comment on it, so that's crazy. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with you guys. Do you think the BFR will be delayed like Falcon Heavy? Yes and no. It won't be delayed for the same reasons that Falcon Heavy got delayed, guys. You have to, I think the best way we can compare BFR and the development of BFR is to actually look at the development of the Falcon 9. It's not fair to say it's going to be the same as how long it took to go from Falcon 9 to Falcon Heavy, because the reason Falcon Heavy got delayed in the first place is because Falcon 9 was not mature enough yet to be made into, you know, since so much of the Falcon Heavy is based literally on the Falcon 9, they weren't going to build the Falcon Heavy until the Falcon 9 was mature. This is different. This is different compared to the BFR. The BFR is more like going from the Falcon 1 to the Falcon 9, which happened fairly quickly. They had their first successful launch of Falcon 1 in, what was it, 2008? And they moved on to, so when you went from a Falcon 1 to a Falcon 9, it was nuts. That is a game changer. I need to talk about that in one of my videos. I think maybe I did. That's a big leap. That's a very big leap. And people thought they were crazy for going from this little not suborbital, but a light, you know, light sat launcher, small sat launcher, into a major medium class vehicle. It was nuts. And I have to say, guys, it's man, this is taking a long time. This is a slow burn. But I have to say, I think BFR is more along that line where it's not dependent on the maturing of another vehicle. They're starting from a fresh slate here. I'm worried most that them being able to make a carbon fiber fuselage and carbon fiber tanks that can survive homogeneous methane and all this stuff that's part of this system, that's going to be really hard. And I have full faith that if they really think they can do it, and as long as the engine, which I'm sure they've got figured out. But this is what's crazy to me, is no one has flown a methane-powered engine before. And we now have two of the biggest billionaires, two of the richest men in the world chasing methane propulsion. So there's clearly something behind it. They clearly have faith that they can get it to be a reliable source. And the good thing about methane is it burns very clean. It's very good on the combustion chamber. It's, you know, on the turbo pumps, there's not a lot of charring up and that kind of stuff. So so why don't they put stickers on sponsors of rockets to lower the price of each launch, says Filippo LaFiorenzo. That's a great question, actually. And you know what I think? The biggest reason is that it would only offset the cost a tiny bit. So maybe someone would be, say if someone's willing to spend, you know, $400,000 on a large advertisement. Well, that also doesn't look very good if something were to fail, too. So, and $500,000 in the cost of a, you know, say that's a $100 million launch, that's very, very, very little. I just don't see it being, yeah, what's methane propulsion? So here's what methane propulsion is. The most common rocket fuel right now is RP1, which is kerosene. It's actually just like jet fuel. It's the same thing that commercial jets fly on, only a little bit more refined and more expensive. So it's rocket grade kerosene. It uses oxygen, liquid oxygen, as the oxidizer. Once those two mix and have a spark, the oxygen provides the oxidizer and the RP1's the fuel. The next most common is hydrogen. So you use hydrogen and liquid oxygen. Sometimes they call it hydrolox because it's liquid liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, and the hydrogen's the fuel. That's actually more efficient than kerosene, but it also takes up more space than kerosene does. And then beyond that yet is methane. Methane is the fuel and liquid oxygen is the oxidizer. And the problem with that is it takes up, I think it's even, am I right? It's less dense, but it's more energy efficient than all of them by quite a bit. So yeah, I don't exactly know personally what the challenges were in developing methane compared to hydrogen and compared to RP1 and why exactly it's been so difficult. But yeah, it is very difficult. Aaron Brinkman, how long till Eve? Once we get this burn done, this is the longest burn. After that, we won't have to do another long burn, and we'll pretty much speed out there. We should be there in 15-20 minutes. Don't forget, okay, so Neuropilot says the A380 is a huge composite airframe. That is very true, Neuropilot. You're exactly right. But, I mean, first off, they had some issues with the early fuselages. They were seeing some hairline cracks. But second of all, it's not pressurized using cryogenics. You know, you're not talking about something being minus 300 Celsius or whatever it is, which does not play very well with carbon fiber. And even higher pressures, I would assume, than you know, 30,000, 35,000 feet, 10,000 meters in altitude. I feel like, yeah, that's just a guess though, but imagine a McDonald's ad on a Falcon Heavy. That would be hilarious. Is it raining? It's raining. Why? Why? Bring my guitar. Maybe. Maybe later. We'll write a song called Tim's Guitar for Friends.com. Alright, so you can only go to minus 273 degrees Celsius. There we go. Thanks, Mike. I had no idea. I'm not very familiar with Celsius. Might be minus 300 Fahrenheit for those, like, liquid oxygen. I don't remember. I feel like... Rick Maassen. Hi, Rick. Just tuning in. Well, welcome. Thank you for saying hi. My thoughts on Falcon Heavy Static Fire. I already did a video on it, if you haven't watched that. And remember, guys, those of you that maybe you just happen to find this stream right now and you don't know, what I mostly do is I very rarely stream. I might stream lately. I've been able to stream like 2 or 3 times a week, which is a lot of fun for me. But mostly, we sit here and we script. My Discord, my Patreon members in Discord, they help me script and research videos. And I am working on cranking out at least a video a week lately, which has been very, very, very hard and lots of lack of sleep. That are scripted and research videos on just a very specific topic. So we're trying to tackle, lately it's been a lot about SpaceX, I apologize. I'm not. I know it seems like I'm the ultimate SpaceX fan, but which of course I am. But right now we just have so many questions, and I'm basing my videos off of questions that I see over and over and over again. So when I get 65 questions about what do you think happened to Zuma? Yeah, I'm gonna make a video about Zuma. I didn't want to. I did not want to make a video about Zuma. I think that's a silly thing for us to even have to speculate and talk about, because we don't know. You know, that's kind of the whole thing. We don't really know. So, and SpaceX said everything went nominally, so that's all we should talk about. That being said, like, I get a lot of questions about something Falcon Heavy. Okay, I guess I'll do this about Falcon Heavy. So eventually, when SpaceX slows down, once we get a large enough library that I can point everyone to every answer they've ever had about SpaceX, I can finally move on, I feel like. And like I said, we have an 8-page script ready for Rocket Lab. That's going to be almost a 20-minute video on Rocket Lab, because they're awesome. I'm really excited about them and for them. But that's what I do most of the time. So if you haven't watched those videos, any topic you have a question on, there's probably a pretty good chance I've made a video about it already. Although we do have a lot. I have a list this long of videos I need to make, and each one takes like 40 to 80 hours to research, script, shoot, and edit. So yeah, so just keep being patient for me, so thank you guys. Delta 5 doesn't exist, Delta 4 does, that's correct. Somebody's, I think, talking about ULA's Delta vehicle. Do you like the Black Arrow rocket, as in the, if you're talking about the Electron, I love that it's black carbon fiber fuselage. That is super, super, super cool. Did you forget the engine's on? Nope, we're still burning. This is a long, slow thrust to weight ratio burn. Don't worry, this is just how long this stuff takes. Although we are, so look at this, we haven't even broke Kerbals' gravity yet. But we're getting there. What do I think of Britain's rocket? It's so ugly. What rocket does Britain have? Britain had a little lipstick rocket, like back in the like 70s or something. I thought that was an awesome looking rocket personally, that launched out of Australia, but I don't know of any other rocket that Britain has. Kerbal is the star. Not even to Minmus yet, but we will be out of it in a second. The difference between Minmus and an escape velocity is very, 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 very close. So once we get past this purple line, which is Minmus, watch, we'll go from Minmus to escape velocity any second. So here we go. Probably escape velocity in 3, 2, 1, and brake. Haha! That was... I'm quite impressed with myself right now, if I'm being honest. Okay, so we're still going to finish up this burn. We have 35 meters per second left. 30 meters per second. Once we get to the end of this burn, then we get a coast and do an inclination change and get our rendezvous with Eve out of the way. I'm just nervous that we burnt through all of our monoprop, and we kind of need some of that, so that's bad. As a matter of fact, I probably should have turned off the actual monoprop on those command pods. And I'm going to do that right now, just so we don't accidentally strain these guys out here. Stop. Right here. Where can I click on those? We're just going to do this so that we don't accidentally totally drain these, because these, we need to have monoprops so we can deorbit these things, which would just be bad if we couldn't deorbit them to get back into Kerbal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are on our way towards Eve, but again, we don't actually have an intercept with Eve yet, so we will be doing an inclination change. So here we go. We are first getting out. Now we are in orbit of the sun, and at the point right now we will never touch Eve, so let's go ahead and find... Hopefully this isn't a massive inclination change. I'm nervous it's going to be. Oh god. That's pretty big, 350. But oh well, again, we have 3,000 meters per second right now, and that's without... we gotta find... Wait, probably this. Oh my gosh. We are It's not the most efficient thing I've seen in the world, guys. 700 meters. This is terrible, actually. I've never had such a bad intercept with Eve, but hey. To each their own, right? $9,000. Let's see if we can just kind of nudge it around. This is an expensive Eve burn, I will tell you that. Especially to get to Eve, because Eve actually 6,000. Oh, that was the best we can do on inclination, I think. Or sorry, 6 million. And let's get nice and close. 2 million. 3 million. Okay, we will do this. Unless somebody has a better way of doing that. Pull the orbit down and then tweak inclination until you get an intercept. Yeah, we've got a nice clean intercept here. We're close, and we'll tweak it more once we get there. Let's get to this point. Again, we actually have a lot of Delta V in this nuke stage. This was not the most efficient way to get there. I apologize if you guys are judging me for it. I don't blame you. I've done much better. Normally we can get there. Eve has a huge gravity well, so you can normally just nail it easily in one shot, but it's not the thing today. So what are my thoughts about titanium grid fins? They're awesome. How could you have thoughts otherwise? Yeah, the titanium grid fins are great. They're expensive, it seems like. Very expensive, probably. I personally think that's one of the biggest reasons. There's two reasons we see titanium grid fins on Falcon Heavy. Number one, and why we only see two on Falcon Heavy, 2 pairs, 2 sets. The reasons are, number one, those side boosters have a more aerodynamic nose cone, which means they don't have an interstage on top of. So remember, when the rocket's falling, the interstage slash nose cone is now the tail cone. It's at the back end of the rocket. In order to have the right aerodynamic properties, an interstage has more drag, and it's allows for greater control using a smaller, less bitey grid fin, the standard aluminum one. But next, obviously, you'd think, oh, the center core is going to be going the hottest, and there's a good chance that it might just rip the grid fins right off almost, and they'll melt because they're aluminum. But I think they'll have enough margin with the center core to still be able to slow it down enough through re-entry. And there's still such a big chance of failure that I don't think they want to risk putting 3 sets of those expensive titanium grid fins on. So I think they're mitigating their risk. They're saying, okay, we know we can land. We need the titanium grid fins on the side boosters for control. We can land fine with the aluminum grid fins because they know the profile. They probably know the center core is not actually going to be that crazy hot, and they'll be able to survive. Mix those things together, and you don't put titanium grid fin on all 3 cores. For now, for this first one. Later on, yes. Where are we still getting monoprop chewed away from? Maybe from inside here. Let's go ahead and turn that off then. Really don't want to just eat away all of our monoprop, but too late. Because we have other ways of doing so. Whoa, Andy, 3E, that's crazy. I did not know about them firing up the turbo pump in 2013 to replace the SRBs. That's amazing. Sorry, I cannot keep up with everybody. Let me just work on this flip here quick. Is Block 5 like the last iteration of Falcon 9? I'm going to go ahead and say it outright. I don't believe it is. It'll be mature. It'll probably last longer than the Block 3 did, and especially Block 4 is kind of an iteration between 3 and 4. But here's the thing. I just really don't believe that it's going to be the final iteration of Falcon 9. I think they're going to find a lot more things when they start reflying these cores over and over and over again. And I think they'll slowly tweak. They may never officially call it a Block 6, but they'll be tweaking still. They won't be. They have to have a freeze when they're flying humans. NASA needs them to fly 7 times with a mature system that's been unchanged before they trust putting humans on it, which is understandable. Okay, here we go. We are going to do our next burn. And coming home will be a lot lighter. We don't have this whole other rocket to push home. So we only need like 2,000 meters per second to get home. Hey, Hinch! Welcome, Hinch! And Rob Sersman, hi! Welcome to our Discord. You're already here, but glad you're tuning in now. Awesome, Hinch. Welcome, and thank you for becoming a patron member. Yes, if you're asking about these models in the background, I have a link in the description. If I don't, I need to make sure I do. No, I do. I have a link in the description. BuzzSpaceModels.com is where these models come from. But they could get 7 flights in a milk run for comms provider like Iridium. Maybe on the same booster. That'd be crazy. I'm really hoping, guys, I'm a little bit nervous right now that I'm going to spoil a little bit of the surprise. But, hold on. Oh, there it is. But, I locked all these out, but I'm nervous that we're running... What? See, it did it again! I locked these out, I swear, guys. I had these locked. We're all out of oxidizer in these. What? Don't tell me. This could be very, very bad. No! I had those locked! This could be the end of the mission. This could be mission failure right now. Mission failure. We failed. I'm so pissed. I locked these, and then I saved it, and it didn't save the lock. I'm so upset. Why does it do that? Why does it pull from those ever when there's no fuel crossfeed down here? But we don't have any more oxidizer. It's pulling oxidizer from the ascent stage of Eve, and that's just not good. So, yeah. Looks like we might just have to try this tomorrow, guys. I don't even... we can't ascend from Eve without these being totally full. Oh, that makes me so mad. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to send people. And we're not going back to the save point, because the save point is going to be a long ways away. But here's what we're going to do. I'll show you guys the descent and re-entry portion of the Eve lander. We're going to have to add some just regular... so the problem is here that when this thing's like this, it wants to rotate this way for my screen, which means... Let me think about this. I could probably offset one of these engines so that it doesn't want to do that as much by turning... So, say I took this engine and I rotated it so that it's pointing more like this. That would push down. We don't want it... So right now, if you look at this, the problem is, my issue, is that these engines up here are way above the center line. They're pushing hard, and that's making this whole thing want to rotate this way. It's making this part up here want to go this way. That means RCS, the gas thrusters, have to be constantly thrusting and pushing it so it doesn't torque like that. And I have, in this thing, I do have some gyroscopes in here, some reaction wheels. And I'm wondering if I put more in there, and I could hide some up here in this nose cone as well, and maybe some down here, if that would help. We're not going to do infinite propellant, Philip James. We got to do this properly. If that would help. I think more reaction wheels, and then maybe offsetting the thrust of one of these guys, one of these 9 nukes, would probably do the trick. But so, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna practice. We're gonna go ahead and wow, we are off course here. But we're gonna practice the entry, descent, and landing, but not the takeoff. But I'll show you guys what that looks like. It's pretty fun. I'm just really bummed right now. Okay, so now we're going to look out at Eve here. Oopsies. So now we need to just go ahead and get a proper intercept here. So a little bit up like this. Nope, a little bit down like this. And then where'd it go? Hey, get back here. Wow. This is very sensitive. And I'm being very ham-fisted at the moment. Mostly because I'm so upset with myself. Okay, there it is, there it is. And la-di-da. Like that. And now for smart, which sometimes we are, we can get it so we actually are going equatorial like that. Ish, that's good enough. Now we need to back out a little tiny bit. Littlest bit. So we want to get as close as we can. We really don't want to quite re-enter with this thing. The whole thing is not very good at re-entering. But if we do like a... There we go, that's about perfect. Okay, so that's our burn, our maneuver. But how much delta to even back altogether? A lot. It takes 9,000, I believe. It's either 7,000 or 9,000 to get off of Eve. So, yeah. That's why Eve is so stinking difficult. Will SLS's SRBs be reusable? They will not be reusable. They actually found out through many years of the space shuttle program that it was actually more expensive to go out and fetch them, the SRBs that is, rather than just making new ones. And so they will not be reused. They will be... The first ones are reused from the space shuttle. Let me say that, I guess, differently. But after that, they are brand new, and they will continue to be brand new beyond that. Really? Man, what's going on here? Great. Great, great, great. Come on. Come in here. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, you cabbage sauce? What's that looking like? Altitude 9 million miles. 476. What am I looking at? What are you looking at? Okay, let me just kind of tweak this a little bit then. Boop. Oh, that's too much boop. Stop. 92. That's beautiful. Here we come, Eve. Hey, Ollie. Ollie's in the chat. Ollie, the wonderful maker of the wonderful models that we've been talking about previously. Ding, 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 ding. Everybody say hi, Ollie. Say hi, Ollie. We love your models. We wish that we were you. Ollie is insanely talented. So, how do you fine-tune what I just did there? Is that what you're asking, Rami? What I was doing is I was just playing around with kind of J, K, L, and I, the RCS. And you can just kind of push a little bit like that when you're that far away. It only takes little tiny puffs to totally drastically change your intercept. So that's all I was doing. You know what's funny? I just real quick saw somebody saying hi to Ollie and then asking how much to ship to Norway. It's probably cheaper than shipping here to the United States because Ollie lives in Germany. Okay, so we are at Eve. Let's just go ahead and do a quick dirty. I'm not even gonna. Here's what I'm gonna do. Just to show you guys how this thing works. I think I'm gonna go ahead and detach from this thing, and I'm gonna let this guy re-enter. and try to do a direct intercept, which I've never attempted before, mind you. But this thing can handle quite a bit of heat. So I'm going to do that. I've got a quick save here. I'm going to do an alternate quick save. Eve entry. Wait, Eve test guy for my guy 1. Cool. Hey! Can't do question mark. I remember my first save. Okay. One Wolf Falcon Heavy Launch. The Science Cat. Hi, welcome. Get the Spaceflight Now app, and you will never have to ask that question again. It just has been confirmed again today, even though we knew February 6th had been the date, and now we even heard from Mr. Elon Musk himself that it's February 6th. So, no, we want to undock. Give me an undock. Can I get an undock? Yeah, yeah, give me the undock. Yeah, yeah. Come on, girl, undock. Yeah, yeah. Can we get an undock? That's the undock song. I'm sure you guys have heard it on the radio and stuff. It's super popular. Okay. Yep. So, I'm going to be lazy about this. And we're just going to knock this out of the way. Get out of here. Get out of here, you old guy. I'm going to break something. I'm just getting impatient at this point now that I know it's going to be a total, utter failure. Back this thing out of here. Get out of that alligator's mouth. A weird fish looking thing. I guess you guys are going to get a spoiler alert on how this baby actually re-enters. Not a spoiler alert, just a spoiler. A spoil. A spoil? You're a spoil. I'll show you spoil. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do a little tiny bit of... Oh, yeah. Interesting. Can't do it that way. So we're going to have to do our... I'm talking to myself over here, so if you're very confused about what's going on, it's called Tim's Losing His Mind because he's been playing this game now for like 2 hours and just realized it was all worth nothing. Alright, so we're going to go like 77, sure. 77 it is. There we go. And here we come, Eve. We're going to come in very spicy. Okay. Talking G-forces in the Discord channel. Love it. Looks like we may have lost some people. Oh, I can tell right now I'm not going to make it into orbit. Even though we've got that pretty steep re-entry. $76. Wow. We are probably going to go flying right past it. The exact failure of the mission. Aiden, great question. So here's what happened. See these thrusters here? These thrusters are, I have powered... for better or for worse, by the standard fuel and oxidizer. And what happened was the mission started pulling fuel and oxidizer right here from our ascent. This is what gets us off of Eve. And so since it was draining those tanks without me knowing it, we can't get off of Eve. And therefore, it failed. It's a failure. I failed you guys. I failed me, guys. That's what happened. That's what happens when you... don't do enough R&D before you stream. Like I said, I actually on purpose left some of this pretty untested because I figured it'd be more fun for you guys to join along. So, Ollie, you're right. I do have a large, the third, I think it's 8 or 9% of my audience on YouTube is German. So I better start learning some German, right? All I know is, my friend that speaks a little German, we were in Germany last 2 years ago almost now, a year and a half ago. And every night we'd say, Guten Nacht, Fraulein, which means good night, little girl. He would tell me that every night. Guten Nacht, Fraulein. And I'd say, Guten Nacht, Fraulein back. Or Guten Nacht, Kuh, which I think means cow. Right? I know that's about the extent of my German right there. So, yep. Welcome to Tim tries to speak German insanely poorly, knowing nothing. And bitteschön. Oh, my grandma. So my grandma's German. She was German. Actually, most of my family's German. But she forgot how to speak German because she grew up in a German colony here in the United States. But one of the only words, there's a few words that she used to speak to me. One, like when we had a little bit, why is that clamped? Oh, great, we're out of electric power. So we are going to have to cheat this thing into, we just want to show you guys this thing. So we're going to do this. We could, why not? Here we go. So, she used to say to me, if we had like a little bit of drink left, she'd go like, come on, it's just ein Schluck. Or ein Schluck, right? Like a little bit left. And then what else would she say? She'd say, oh, du bist ein besser Buben. Which I've told people that before, and they don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure, I might be saying besa wrong, but pretty sure it means you are a bad boy. I was not. I was a good boy. Basin. Okay, so we're blowing up. No big deal. I expected some of this. Because we're coming in crazy, crazy, crazy hot. But we are blowing up more than I intended. And we didn't do any of our, like, orbital re-entries. We're trying to do an aero brake maneuver, which is extremely aggressive. Bosa Buben. Oh, maybe. Bosa Buben. Yeah, we're just getting a few poofs here. No big deal. We aren't going to survive. But we are in orbit. Hey. How are we not tumbling end over end right now? That's what I want to know. Oh, here it comes. Oh, wow. We're having seizure mode here. I hope you're not epileptic. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Remember when I said Eve was difficult? There we go. Eve is difficult. Eve is very difficult. Dang it. Guys. Oh, I might need to be done streaming for the night, but here's the question. Who is available tomorrow? Here's the thing. I think I could stream like at 10 a.m. Central, which would be like 14 UTC, and stream probably for another 2 or 3 hours. And I really want to try to do this in one shot. So that's my goal. We'll fix a few of those things that we learned. Please send Discord link. The Discord is for Patreon. So if you want to become a Discord member, patreon.com/everydayastronaut. We're going to go ahead and just back out of this. We're going to do this. You guys are going to get the full screen here. Now we can see Ollie's models better. Hey, let's see if... Oh yeah, this is just a crappy acoustic that's probably not in tune at all, but... Crap. I don't even have the string that we need for that song. And it's a half step too low. Whoops. So yeah, Sundays are never good for you for... Kogaflector. Koji Flector. Oh, no way! Tomek is translating my latest video into Polish. That's amazing. Thank you. So... Oh, 16 UTC. 10 a.m. No, 10 a.m. Central. I think I'm only 6 hours off from UTC. Oh, you're right, though. 16... Sorry. I was doing noon, like 12 o'clock to... Yes, because you just add 6 to 10. 16 UTC. You're exactly right! 10 a.m. is 16 UTC. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Live stream of a Falcon launch. Here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to hang out for a few more minutes. I'm going to hang out for 10 more minutes or something. Because we're playing some good music, I think. I just called my music good. I'm a jerk. I'm going to bring you guys the screens over here a little closer so I don't have to look so far away. And I'm just going to keep answering. And we're just going to keep hanging out. I want to answer you guys' questions. Let's see here. What's really easy for us to understand for non-native speakers? I hope... Okay, so back to Falcon Heavy. Okay, again... I might as well just like put this across the whole screen. If you want to know anything about SpaceX and if you're sick of asking when is this or when is that or blah, 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 get the app, SpaceX Now on your phone. SpaceX Now. And then you will have notifications anytime there's a change. Say the date changes, or say something happens, or say SpaceX tweets, or say there's a popular thing up on Reddit. SpaceX Now will tell you about it. And then you'll be just as informed as I am, because that's all I use, to be honest, is SpaceX Now, and I check in with Reddit, and I guess I have some people that I reach out to occasionally that can help me if I need to. But for the most part, SpaceX Now is my source. So if you want to know what I know, get SpaceX Now. So there we go. Yeah, SpaceX subreddits are awesome. If you're not on Reddit, yeah, then you can go there, reddit.com/r/SpaceX or reddit.com/r/SpaceX Lounge. There is also Launch Alarm. That is LAUNCH Alarm for your phone. If you want to look at other providers besides SpaceX, you can see upcoming launches for ULA and, you know, NASA launches and all that stuff. So that's a good one. There's also spaceflightnow.com. I definitely love those guys. I've worked with them a lot. So let's see. And make sure, if you guys remember, subscribe here. I will be live streaming at Falcon Heavy. Here's what I'm going to do. Little secret. Ready? Little secret. You guys get a little secret. I'm going to take and rent an 8K 360-degree camera. And then I will post it up on YouTube so that you can literally stand there next to me at the press site in front of the launch clock, and with Falcon Heavy only 3 miles away. And you'll be able to look around, you'll be able to see all the reactions of everybody as it goes off. And I'm like just tearing up thinking about it. So I will be doing that for you guys. I'm really excited about that. So get ready. It's going to be amazing. And I promise that I'm going to have that, and I will also be shooting as much stuff as humanly possible. I will be live streaming with this exact camera. This is a decent camera, right? This is a 4K studio camera. I'll have that set up with a microphone. I'll be live streaming for probably an hour or two leading up to the launch. So I'll be in touch, able to answer questions on the fly. If there's a change, if we hear something over the PA live, you'll be the first to know. You might be ahead of a lot of that stuff, ahead of the SpaceX stream. So if you want the best place to be, the front seat of the house for Falcon Heavy, have 2 screens ready. Get 2 devices. Borrow somebody's phone if you need to, or something, or get YouTube up on one screen and your phone on the other. But get my stream up on one for up to almost like T-minus 2 hours. I will be streaming, and then have the SpaceX stream on the other screen. And between those two, I will not be speaking when they speak, or I'll try not to. I don't know exactly how it'll work. But yeah, there we go. Have 2 monitors, whatever you need. Rent the Red Weapon 8K helium. I should. Hey, that's awesome, Super Winner 50. Thank you for the sub. Is the sound in 3D? It actually is on this camera. Yes, yes it is. So, let's see. Am I hyped for Ariane 6? Yes, I am. I am. I wish they... is Ariane 6, is that actually the one where they are planning to glide land the engines? If so, very excited, because that's awesome. I haven't looked into Ariane 6. I'm not as familiar as I should be about it, but I need to. And please tell, and Tron asks, please tell me you'll be shooting stills of the launch. I will have 6 pad cameras to be able to set up around the perimeter of Falcon Heavy. These are sound triggered still cameras. I don't know if I'm going to try to set up all 6. Hey, thank you, Silent Snipe. That's awesome. Well, thank you. I'm glad that they say thank you for your videos. They keep me inspired, and I think they keep us all curious for the future. Thank you, Silent Snipe. I'm curious for the future too, so I'm just very excited. So I'm glad you feel that same way. Okay, so what scale is that Falcon Heavy model? Ollie knows. What is it, 144th or 177th or something? So I will be shooting stills. I'm debating whether or not to even try to shoot stills from my vantage point, though, because you're 3 miles away. I will have the equivalent of a 600mm lens. I almost think having a 600mm lens and 4K is actually more valuable than trying to do I don't know, I'm debating. Hey, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take everything. I'm going to take absolutely everything. Ollie says that the scale of these models is 172. They're big. I mean, look at how they're big models. Yeah. So they're huge. They're great. They're great. Wrong. What do I think are some interesting opportunities for young and upcoming entrepreneurs interested in space? That's a great question. From Rawl G. I think some great opportunities would be... Let me actually think about this, because I think that's a good question. I really want to have a good thing to say, because you said entrepreneurs, right? Upcoming entrepreneurs interested in space. So, ask me again sometime, because I really like that question, and I really like the entrepreneurial spirit. I definitely think there's going to be something with asteroid mining. I mean, asteroid law, all this stuff. Yeah, and resources, you know, space resources eventually, you know, mining water on the moon, getting diamonds out of Uranus, stuff like that is going to be amazing. So, yeah, Elon in our Discord mentions I am live. Yes, we are very aware of my liveness. Yeah, so which do I like better, the BFR or Falcon Heavy? Well, I mean, currently Falcon Heavy exists fully in its entirety. It's physically capable of leaving the Earth at this moment. Yeah, I would say Falcon Heavy right now. BFR will be very cool, but I have to remain optimistically skeptic. Yeah, I honestly have to be a little bit skeptical about BFR until we actually start seeing some significant hardware. So, yeah, and there are space lawyers. Yes, I have friends that are space lawyers. I have a good friend named Gray Dodge, and he is a space lawyer. So, yeah, there is that. That's an opportunity. So, by the way, in our Discord channel, they're freaking out over me saying getting diamonds out of Uranus. But guess what? They've found that you can actually get diamonds from the atmosphere of Uranus. So, yo, can you talk about the trunk of the dragon? Yeah, it's empty. it's just a blank space basically, so that you can put cargo up. Like, say you have an attachment point or something that needs to go on the International Space Station that doesn't need to be pressurized. You can just throw it in the trunk. It's easy volume. Pressurized volume is expensive, and it has to be within a pressure vessel instead of just a kind of an empty tube, and that's what the trunk is. It's just totally empty. So things that aren't critical for vacuum, or things that can survive in a vacuum or that are going to exist in a vacuum, can just be in the trunk. No big deal. There we go. Henry Jock says they're going to the Falcon Heavy launch. Excellent. Are there space translators? That's a great question, Rami. That's a really good question. That actually could, if you could specialize in being able to know in another language how to quickly and efficiently, proficiently translate space and aerospace science, you know, on the fly, that actually could be a very good resource. That could be something that you could get paid to do if you're good at it, you know, if you can do it quickly. So Elon hops right in, doing everything that we've already talked about. He's potentially a little late. We've mentioned the launch date, February 6th, many times, Elon. So, let's see. I'm trying to answer any other questions here. You are already. Oh, that's awesome. That's what you want to contact me about. Well, that's great. Yeah, let me know. Again, I've said this like 3 times already this stream, but I'm very interested in community translating. If you guys do speak another language proficiently, if English is your second language or you're totally bilingual and you understand all the jargon that I'm throwing at you, if you can translate into that into your native language, especially, again, I mentioned the big one I'm trying to find is Spanish. I'm trying to find a couple people that do good Spanish translations for me. If you do, let me know you're doing it, and let me know you're doing it well, and let me know you're serious about it. And if you do, and you enjoy doing it, and you do my videos, I will gladly send you some awesome swag. I will get you a t-shirt, hat, a print, or whatever you want, and sign them, send you a nice thank you card as my way of saying thanks for your contributions. I see that as a very valuable resource. So, Am I staying for SES 16? No, not for SES 16. I also signed up for, what is it, the GovSat launch or something? So there's a small chance I would be able to stay down there. Let me take a look at what the launch was. PAZ. So if it happens to go all the way until February 10th and it doesn't push PAZ back, there's a chance I would be able to stay for PAZ, but that's only 4 days later at this point, isn't it? It's a small chance I'll be there for 2 launches, but we'll see. No, I've never been to S-Range, a Swedish launch site north of, but I have been to Copenhagen suborbitals. I've met those crazy people in Copenhagen who are basically like a makerspace for rockets, which is awesome. Yeah. How do you do translations? So if you go on my videos, there's a way to just search how to translate like community content translations. Yeah, you will find out how to do that. Just type in community contribution translations YouTube on Google, and hopefully you can find it. I do have it available on my channel. And then again, please let me know you're doing it. Not only so I can have it verified by other people that you're doing a good job, but also so I can thank you for your hard work, because it's a lot of work. I spent 4 hours. If you guys watched I posted that video of my speech down in Florida, talking kind of about like how I got involved with Instagram and how I got the spacesuit and all that stuff. I spent almost 4 hours manually typing every word for closed caption in that, so I am fully aware of how much work it is. So therefore, I appreciate the absolute crap. Elon asks, when are we going to do the winner of the Patreon giveaway? So those of you that don't know, Patreon members have a chance. I have 3 more of these guys. This is see this little shiny piece here? That's a piece of Space Shuttle from Space Shuttle. Oh gosh. Which one is it, guys? I say it all the time, but now I'm forgetting. Columbia, Space Shuttle, not Atlantis, not Columbia, not Challenger, not Endeavour. If you'd like your very own piece of Space Shuttle Discovery, thank you, Elon knows. Gosh. It's been a long day. Space Shuttle Discovery. Yeah, I have 3 more of these pieces that I'll be giving away. So here's the deal. It's already been locked, but we're waiting until the payment goes through for the 200th subscribers. And the way it works is, so by the end of the month, once everyone's that's a patron supporter, everyone that was in at the 200 mark, we'll get their name in the list, we'll ship that out, and then we're already coming up on 300 patrons, which means we'll give another one away. So the way it works, say you've given, you pledge $1, you get your name once in the hat for that. If you pledge $10 a month, you get 10 pledges in the hat. But you have to have had your name in the thing at the 200 mark, and at the 300 mark, and at the 400 mark will be our last one. Maybe at 500 we'll find another fun thing to give away. I don't know what it, maybe we'll team up with Ollie or something like that. So yeah, so thank you for asking, and that's when it will be, Elon. You have a chunk of shuttle tire. That's awesome. Orbital resonance. That's sweet. Do I think SpaceX can use the Falcon Heavy to send astronauts and equipment to the ISS? Absolutely, of course, easily. That's a great question, though. So, actually, see this configuration right here. So, on top of this over here, this is a Falcon 9 with a Dragon 1 capsule. And this Falcon Heavy model currently has a Dragon 2 capsule, which will be what... And that is interchangeable. You will be able to put a Dragon 2 capsule on top of a Falcon Heavy. The only problem is, they almost never load this baby up enough, the normal Falcon 9 up enough to utilize the whole Falcon 9 for missions to the International Space Station. So there's... it'd be a huge waste of resources to actually use the Falcon Heavy to send stuff to the International Space Station with crew and provisions. So the Falcon 9 is plenty capable for that. You'd have to have almost a different spaceship. Like, say they could make like a 20-person cool like capsule thing or something with a little miniature space hotel that can dock with the International Space Station. That'd be something different. Because this thing is capable. Falcon Heavy is capable of 3,000 kilograms to low Earth orbit, which is where the International Space Station is. And this thing, the Dragon on top of it, only weighs like, I think dry mass is like, I think it rarely ever weighs more than 10,000. So major overkill. There we go. When will I be streaming next? Tomorrow at 16 UTC. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and set that now as when we're gonna do that. So Falcon Heavy could launch an M1A1 Abrams to Leo. That's crazy. Do I think we should focus on exploring our solar system or outside our solar system? I'm actually a big fan of exploring our solar system because it takes so long to get anything of any significance out to another planet. We have so much to explore here in our own solar system. I want us to land on almost everything and or scoop up and do all this stuff way before we. I mean, I at the same time I still think we should be doing like light sail type of stuff and or those like laser things, the speed things. If we can, I mean, we should do that, but that should not be our priority. That should be like a cool flagship mission. But meanwhile, we have so much stuff to explore in our own solar system that we need to prioritize that. So, let's see. Trond, I've watched your videos of both SpaceX and the Orion pad. Oh, you've watched the videos of SpaceX and the Orion pad abort tests and the escape systems. Why are their speeds so different? The Orion ascent rate looks like it could do some serious harm to anyone inside. So, Tron, good question. It might be a matter of perspective. They're probably both darn close. You want to get out of there as quickly as possible. What we're talking about here is, say there's a rocket sitting on the launch pad or in flight, and if it disintegrates and if it starts to blow up, you want your pressure vessel, you want your crew to get in front of and stay in front of that shock wave. So stay in front of the explosion, or at least stay safe from mostly the big parts and stuff. It might not be able to outrun the shock wave, but and I think there's a brief really extreme max G of maybe 15 or 20 Gs or something, but then it tapers down. I would be surprised if Orion is that much different. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if it's that much different for Orion than it is for Dragon 2. They all basically are like a get the F out of there, a GTFO button that they hit, or they don't even hit it. There's actually cords. There's cords that run down the fuselage, 3 of them, and if any 2 of those cords break, it triggers the abort system. So at least that's how they did it in the past. I don't know what the, yeah. Wow, I need to speak German apparently. Jeez. So many Germans. That's great. So, guys, I think that's going to be it for me tomorrow. Again, 16 UTC tomorrow, which is 10 a.m. Yeah. I think that's going to do it. Why they use something as simple as cores. Tron says, I had no idea they use, well, I don't know what cores. I mean, it's like wire, but basically as soon as it loses contact, if any 2 of them lose contact, it triggers the abort system. I don't know what cords they are really, but yeah, keep it easy, absolutely. Yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you all for hanging out. Tomorrow we'll try again with Eve. I'll make some tweaks, and hopefully we'll make it so it doesn't do anything really stupid, and maybe I'll fix the whole driving crooked situation that we had going on. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great rest of the night. What is the stream tomorrow? It'll be the same thing as today. Wait, you just came here? Sorry, Kay said. What is my subscriber goal for 2018? I will tell you this. This is insanely ambitious, and it's probably not going to happen. My birthday's at the end of February. And at the end of December, when I reached 50,000 subscribers right before Christmas on December 25th. And I then said, my goal is in 2 months to have 100. It's insane. You never know, though. So that's my goal. It probably won't happen, but I really think actually by the end of March I should hopefully hit 100. I want that silver play button or whatever it is. My goal for the end of 2018, I want to hit 200 by the end of 2018. That's my goal. So we'll try. We will try. And I thank you guys so much for subscribing and for being active. You guys have been amazingly active. It makes it easy for me. It makes it very, you guys are very warm and welcoming. I really like the community we've developed. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for saying hi. Come back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central, 16 UTC. So again, that's 11 Eastern. That'd be 8 West Coast if you're in the United States, but 16 UTC. I'll be doing this again. I will fix some stuff. We will fix this. We'll do the best job possible, and we're going to have an awesome stream. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everybody. Go to bed if you're out there in Germany soon, or wherever. If you're in Europe, it's late. So have a good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. that's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. Bye. I think we all dreamt about going to space when we were kids. But when the space shuttle program ended in 2011, I discovered a void in my life. That emptiness led to a newfound obsession with space. A few years later, I wound up bidding on a Russian spacesuit as a joke. When the box arrived at my doorstep, my friends asked, "What are you gonna do with a spacesuit?" The answer? What can't I do with a spacesuit? That's how Everyday Astronaut was born. Since then, the suit hasn't left my side. It's even gone around the world with me. From remote villages in Myanmar,
Rockets and spaceships.
to beautiful fields in Norway.
I'm fighting a cow to get a picture right now.
Here I am on vacation in the beautiful Norway with my beautiful boyfriend.
I even proposed to my wife in the suit at Machu Picchu, Peru. These days I work with leaders in the space industry to create fun and inspirational content. I've even been invited to different NASA facilities across the country, all for the sake of sharing my excitement with the world.
Hey there, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but NASA is doing some incredible...
This is church for us space nerds. This is where Gene Kranz was sitting when people first met him.
This is with permission. I still don't know how.
I love that I'm standing on something that says urine bags.
This thing's gonna fly like a cat heat. Whatever that means. That dog's gonna have a sore throat by the end of the day, I'll tell you that. Especially once he tries to explain to his friends that he just saw an astronaut flying majestically through the sky for an hour.
This thing has officially become the bane of my existence.
Everyday Astronaut's mission is to bring space down to Earth for everyday people, to communicate science through humor and imagination, but most importantly, to spark your curiosity, to want to find your place in the cosmos. Join my adventures as I seek to find out why exploring space is important, inspiring, and quite frankly, really, really neat. Show your support by visiting patreon.com/everydayastronaut.